Toy Story is one of the franchises that deeply resonates with our emotions, exploring profound themes such as childhood, growth, and the bonds we form with our toys. Among its many memorable moments, Jessie's story in Toy Story 2 stands out as one of the most moving, dealing with abandonment and the pain of losing something once deeply cherished. Within this context, a touching theory emerges, suggesting that Andy's mother could be none other than Jessie's original owner, a young girl named Emily, who appears in a flashback. According to the theory, Andy's mother might have been the girl who left Jessie behind years ago, and for some reason kept the cowboy hat as a memory from that time. This hat, identical to Jessie's, was later passed on to Andy, creating an unexpected connection across generations. Jessie's story is one of the most poignant in the franchise. In Toy Story 2, we learn that Jessie belonged to a girl named Emily, who loved her dearly and played with her constantly. However, as Emily grew up, her interest in Jessie began to fade until she eventually left her behind. This abandonment left a deep scar on Jessie, who developed a constant fear of being forgotten or replaced. This trauma is what makes Jessie so reluctant to trust humans again, and why she hesitates to join Woody and his friends. During this flashback, we see Emily wearing a red hat with a white band, exactly like the hat Andy owns. This detail sparked fans' suspicions. Could Andy's hat be a memento left by Emily, as if she had kept something from that time and later given it to her son? The theory begins to take shape from this small detail, where the hat not only represents a connection with Jessie, but also an emotional bond between mother and child. In the Toy Story universe, every detail seems to tell a story. Andy's hat stands out because it's not just any cowboy hat. It's identical to Jessie's hat, raising interesting questions. Unlike Woody's hat with a black band, Andy's hat has a white band, just like Jessie's and the one seen with Emily in the flashback. This small visual detail led fans to speculate that Andy's hat might have belonged to his mother and was passed down to him as a kind of emotional inheritance. The theory suggests that Andy's mother kept her childhood hat even after parting with Jessie. Perhaps when she grew up, she regretted leaving the doll behind, but decided to keep the hat as a keepsake. Years later, when she had Andy, she may have given him the hat without ever revealing its true sentimental value. This hypothesis gives symbolic weight to Andy's hat, as it carries both his mother's love for Jessie and Andy's love for his toys, subtly but powerfully connecting them both. This detail is something few films address so delicately: cherished childhood items passed down through generations. In this way, Andy's hat becomes much more than an accessory. It's a reminder of a time, and perhaps a memory that Andy's mother wanted her son to experience as well. This theory resonates deeply because it goes beyond the idea of a simple object passed from one generation to another. If Andy's mother is indeed Emily, then Jessie and the hat represent an emotional bridge between mother and son, something much more profound. Imagining that Andy's mother once loved Jessie and then passed on a piece of her childhood to Andy is as if, somehow, a part of her love for toys is being shared, even if indirectly. This intergenerational connection makes love for Jessie and toys seem eternal, transcending time and surviving in memories and family bonds. Andy, unknowingly, would be playing with a hat that, for his mother, may have symbolized happy moments and the fantasy of being a cowboy. By giving him the hat, his mother would have allowed Andy to connect with something she herself experienced, as if she were passing on a bit of her childhood magic to him. Thus, this theory becomes even more special because it transforms the hat into something much more than a simple accessory. It is a symbol of love and shared memories between mother and child, reinforcing Toy Story's message that toys have stories and meanings that stay with us even when we leave them behind. Besides the hat, the very construction of Toy Story's characters and plot suggests that this connection between Andy's mother and Jessie may have been planned. Andy's mother is an enigmatic figure who appears only indirectly throughout the films. At no point do we learn about her past, full name, or even details about her childhood. This aura of mystery around her allowed fans to speculate about her role and connections to other characters. Another curious point is how Toy Story always explores themes of nostalgia and the passage of time. If we think of Andy's mother as a possible Emily, we see that her story, like Jessie's, is one of change and growth. Perhaps, like Emily, she faced the phase of abandoning toys and leaving behind that childhood phase that leaves such a mark on us. Through Andy and Jessie's reunion with a new child, the theory suggests an almost healing cycle. Jessie found a new home and someone to love her, even if Andy's mother had to let her go one day. Additionally, the concept of time in the Toy Story universe reinforces the idea that toys have a sort of symbolic eternity. Jessie passed from generation to generation, and even if Emily grew up and changed, something of her remained alive in Andy. Thus, the theory also strengthens the emotional role of toys and beloved objects in our lives, and how they preserve memories, even if indirectly. One of Toy Story's central themes is the value of toys as carriers of memories and affections, and this theory about Andy's mother being Emily connects deeply with this theme. The idea that Jessie was once loved by Andy's mother and is now part of her son's life adds a nostalgic layer that resonates with the real-life experience of many parents and children. Many adults share with their children items from their own childhoods, be it a toy, a book, or even a song, in an attempt to pass on some of the joys and memories that marked their own lives. If Andy's mother really was Emily, then Jessie represents an emotional link between the past and present, something the franchise's toys always embody. They hold a part of each owner's childhood. Jessie's experience would then not just be one of a forgotten toy, but of a toy that, even after years, continues to be loved, even if by a new generation. This theory thus becomes a symbol of how bonds with toys shape us and accompany us throughout life, connecting us with who we were and with those who come after us. Jessie's reunion with a new child, in this case Andy, would be almost a redemption for the trauma she suffered, bringing peace to her abandonment in the past. Although the idea that Andy's mother is Emily is a powerful and moving connection, some details in the films end up weakening this theory. To begin with, the flashback in which we see Jessie with Emily suggests a period before Andy's mother's childhood. The room's aesthetic, objects, and even the colors used in the scene resemble the 1960s or 70s, indicating that Emily would have grown up in a very different era than the one when Andy's mother would have been a child, making it unlikely that they are the same person. Another point is that the franchise never mentions Andy's mother's full name. The name Emily was entirely speculated by fans, and as far as we know, it's just a coincidence that Jessie and Andy share a similar hat. This detail can be seen more as a design choice by the animators, who wanted to create a visual bond between Jessie and Andy without implying that the hat is the same from his mother's childhood. Moreover, the Toy Story films often use similar elements and objects to give a sense of familiarity to the audience without necessarily connecting them directly. Andy's hat could simply be a visual reference to Jessie's world without any literal link. Therefore, although this theory is beautiful and full of nostalgia, it ultimately remains more of an emotional interpretation by fans than a truth of the Toy Story universe. Even if the theory is unlikely, it remains special and meaningful for fans. Toy Story has always shown us that toys hold much more than simple memories. They hold the love, affection, and memories of generations. Imagining that Jessie was loved by two generations of the same family reminds us of the power of emotional bonds and how toys can symbolize an eternal link between past, present, and future. In the end, this theory is a beautiful tribute to the role of toys and the way they mark our lives, even if the bond between Andy and his mother isn't exactly this. If you enjoyed this theory and want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all new theories and mysteries from the world of animation. So, what do you think about this theory about Andy's mom and Jessie? Truth or just coincidence? Leave your comment so we can continue this conversation. And don't go yet. We have more videos waiting for you on the screen, with other theories and curiosities you'll love. Just click and keep watching.